Hello students! After understanding the voltage source, let's learn about another important power supply, the current source. The current source, namely the ideal current source, is a model abstracted from the actual power supply. It can provide a certain current to the outside without changing with the voltage changes at both ends. Because of its internal resistance and other reasons, the ideal voltage source does not exist. But this model of the ideal current source is helpful for us to analyze the circuit. What we can see from the picture below is the component model of an ideal current source. The arrow indicates the direction of the current. In fact, if a current source does not fluctuate significantly, when the external voltage changes, we usually assume that it is an ideal current source, such as the output end of a photovoltaic cell or a transistor. Usually, the current source model, the ideal current source, and an internal resistance are expressed in parallel. What we see below is the component model of the actual current source based on the ideal current source connected with an internal resistance R0. The internal resistance R0 of the ideal current source tends to infinity, which is equivalent to an open circuit. So the internal current cannot be shunted, and the internal resistance of the actual current source is always limited. Therefore, when the load increases, the current distributed on the internal resistance will definitely increase, resulting in the output current decreasing with the increase of the load. That is, the external characteristics of the actual current source, it is also a slightly downward inclined straight line. We can easily find that the current source has the following characteristics. 1. The current value output by the ideal current source is fixed and has nothing to do with the external circuit. 2. The voltage passing through the ideal current source depends on the external circuit to which it is connected. 3. When the current value of the current source is equal to 0, the voltage source is equivalent to an open circuit. The model used to represent the actual circuit depends on the external circuit and the main form of power supply. In the circuit analysis, an actual power supply circuit model can be arbitrarily selected in principle. Obviously, when the same power supply is expressed using two different circuit models, the effects of the two power supply models are necessarily the same. For its external connection circuit, that is, they can be equivalently transformed. This section is over. Let's think about whether the current size of the ideal current source is related to the external circuit, and what is the internal resistance of the ideal current source. Bye!